Unprepared. By the
Am I
way,
ever prepared?
we should never do hard opens. We should always do soft, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think we ever do hard opens. We're not
Good.
like,
I like this.
and
Do they roll?
three,
This should like,
two.
yeah, people need to see behind the scenes
Yeah.
a little bit.
Well, here's behind the scenes. Tim's sipping his Starbucks. Why'd you
No,
go?
this is not Starbucks.
Oh,
This
I was gonna
is
say, why'd you go there?
this doesn't even look like Starbucks cups. Come on, you
I
know.
just see a green sleeve, and
It's Intelligentsia. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but yeah, it's the one that's
Inteligencia.
it's good.
What is it? Just drip?
Just drip.
All right.
That's all I ever get. It's just drip coffee.
Boring.
Oh, we got a new coffee maker.
Yes, you guys. Oh, that is good. We could talk about that. Okay, I got a really
Yeah.
fancy,
Yep.
schmancy espresso machine, and it is noise. It is a noise. But I mean, there's a learning curve. I mean, shit. It's I mean, you gotta tamp it. You gotta get the beans. You gotta level that shit off. You gotta put, and then latte art. Your girl can't.
No, you're not very good at it yet. Are you sure we're rolling, by the way? You press record?
Yeah, why? You want to go check?
Make sure we're not talking to no one.
What do you mean?
Can you imagine if we sat here for an hour and talked? And
we would still have the audio.
Oh, I guess that's true. We could just release the audio.
Yeah, wait, now go check now. But don't touch the setup. Don't. All right, I'll do a little, what's it called? Filibuster? No. What? Filibuster? It's going. Okay. Confirmed. It's really nice, and it was not the cheapest thing I've ever bought, but I did save $300 and get it on an insane sale.
By switching to Geico.
By switching to Geico. Not sponsored by Geico. And it could do everything. It can make fucking cold brew.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do your Americano, you could do your latte, your cappuccino, and it froths the milk. I mean, literally. Okay, does everything, and it's nice. Do you like it?
Yeah, it's really good.
Best latte you've ever had at home. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I was. It's funny to look back through the years and the slow evolution of our coffee appliances, slightly incremental upgrades each time. When we very, very, very first started dating and living together, I don't think we could.
It was a coffee pot.
Yes, that's right.
It was just the grounds with the filter.
Like the old school plastic coffee pot. That's what we had. I remember that.
Hell yeah, brother.
And I remember being amazed because you could set it to brew
on
its own at like 6 a.m. And then the next one was the Keurig. We're like, oh yeah, that was huge. Those were huge in 13 or whatever. And then what did we do after that? Oh, then I got on this like.
We did French drip. We did the French press.
That's right, yeah. So I got into into nerd coffee, and I was like, you have to use a French press, and you have to grind the beans yourself. I didn't grind the beans, but I would use a French press. So we did that for years. That is good, by the way.
That was nice.
That's a really good way to make coffee.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the only thing I should just use that when I want big, because sometimes you want drip because you want to drink volume.
Yeah.
And I find the lattes aren't good for that because it's just a different
double shot of espresso.
Yeah, so you can't drink it in volume. Well, you can, but
you can do single. It's just a lot of milk, and like who wants that much milk?
We need to refine that. I should read. Sometimes I just want cups of drip coffee.
It's in a box.
Several cups.
Yeah, it's in the garage.
Anyway, after the French press, what was next? I don't even remember. We got the fancy Ninja thing.
We still have that.
We still have it. That's right. That's the longest standing one.
Still have
that we were amazed. That's a good coffee maker. We love that one.
You won't let me throw it away. And then also we have an espresso that you won't let me throw away. We have effectively 4 ways to make coffee in this household, Tim. Listen, French press, we still have. Ninja, we still have. Nespresso, we still have. And then we have a DeLonghi espresso machine.
Okay, we can get rid of the Ninja as long as we have the French press thing. Again, that's fine.
Can I interject? Because I do know that at some point in this podcast, we are going to talk about money. I don't know necessarily how that's going to be brought up or what that will entail, but we did roughly say like we should hit on this, this, and this. I think personally, so that we're not like negating ourselves, if you are using something every day of your life consistently for a very long time and you have a track record that you're not going to stop using that thing, I do think it makes sense to incrementally increase the quality of whatever that thing is in your life, I think that, do you agree with that? Like, I think that that makes sense. If it's like, listen, I paint and I'm a painter and this is my career and I'm making a lot of money doing that. Why would I use the shittiest brushes?
Yeah.
So if it's like something like that, where you're like, this actually impacts the quality of my life. For
Yes.
you, does caffeine impact the quality of your life?
Yes, very much so.
100%. So then it makes sense, right? To
Yeah.
let's slowly go. We're not going to go from point A to point Z, but let's go A through,
Yeah.
And
We can come back, but I think the principle that you're highlighting is like, it's okay to spend money, but you need to figure out where and what matters to you. So for us, we love good coffee, so we don't mind spending a bit more money there.
Mhm.
But like, neither of us buy expensive clothes for the most part. So like, neither of us value that much.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine with $20 t-shirts. And so for some people, they really value clothes. So maybe they need to be willing to sacrifice in other areas. But the point is, like, you should still, like, buy quality things for what you love. Whatever you love, whatever you're into.
That's
It can't be everything unless you're very, very wealthy. But yeah, you just pick what matters to you. So
the first sip that I had, I was like, this tastes like Artifact coffee, which is my favorite latte in Baltimore, Maryland, that I've ever had in my life, was from Artifact. And I was like, oh. Immediately
Wow.
that first sip, I was like, it validated the purchase because I didn't know how it was going to be. I don't know. I've never had. And I was like,
that's saying a lot for homemade coffee.
Oh, man. So
Let's finish the coffee journey because we're not done yet.
Go.
We went to Nespresso. That was a recent thing. That was like last year. I love the Nespresso, and I don't want to get rid of that. We can get rid of the Ninja as long as we have the French press, but I love the Nespresso because sometimes
it's easy.
What I realized, A, it's much easier, but B, also in the morning, I wake up before everyone, and like, I want a coffee, but I can't use it's loud, right? It grinds the bean, and then I don't want to wake anyone up. So the Nespresso would be nice for that. It's much quieter. Much faster.
You could grind the beans before you go to bed and then leave the holder in there.
Don't let the coffee snobs hear you say that. They
Yeah,
get
it might
really upset about that.
All right. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about. So what are you gonna
By the
do?
way, funny coffee snob. Can I tell the story? I hate being snobbish about anything. It's just not my personality. So whenever I sense like elitism in whatever thing it
You're
is,
out.
I get really like, I just don't want to be. Well, coffee there was a period in like 2017 where like coffee hipster elite, there was like this whole culture built around
The
like,
hey-ho.
yeah, and they were like super into coffee, which I get. I'm super into coffee, but like, they took it to the next level, right? And that's cool. That's fine. But then it turned into like elitism where they're like, oh, if it's not, it's not ground beans in this drip specific technique, then it's not good. And I'm very turned off by that. So
sourced organically from Colombia.
Yeah. So I went the opposite direction. This was like 2020. And I was like, I'm going back to my roots, and we're buying a Maxwell house, a huge
blue jug,
blue thing by the bin that costs like, if you do the math, it comes out to like 9 cents a cup of coffee or whatever. I was like trying to save money. So I'm like, we're going back to that. And I wanted so badly, because that's who I am, like in my core.
This is who you are. I
yeah,
love
like
that.
I love like I love the simple, cheap things. So in my mind, I idealize this, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so good. We're saving so much money, and like, I don't need to be part of this hipster elite culture.
Your elite taste fucked you.
And then we got it, and I brewed. I was like, this is legitimately disgusting. I want so bad to like this. I'm doing everything I can to pretend like it's good. It's not good. And yeah, so my tastes are just unfortunately, no matter how hard I try, I can't bring myself to like
the lifestyle
Maxwell House
yeah.
by the bulk. But I want to like that. Like, I want to go back to like Maxwell House in a styrofoam cup with like a Marlboro Red.
Fuck yeah.
Just ripping it in the garage.
Hell yeah, brother. With a garage fridge and a garage beers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I want
can have
in my
that.
Soul.
We're gonna have that.
That's what I want in my soul.
Next
but,
house.
My taste buds don't like the Maxwell House.
Well, can you dumb them down?
Nor do they like Marlboro Reds, for the record.
Can you dumb it down? Like, I think if you had no choice, you would have to get used to it.
Yeah.
You would adapt and overcome.
If given the choice to only have Maxwell House or nothing, I'll definitely drink it.
What you know about adapt and overcome, Marine?
Yeah, a lot. Anyways.
What's
that's the
next
coffee
on the
journey.
docket?
Okay.
It was a fun thing. It was
That
a
was not on
new
the docket, by the way.
purchase. Yeah,
Um,
this is what happens when we just roll with it. We just be yapping.
yeah,
Yeah.
we don't always have a point. Sometimes we're just talking.
If you guys want to order my coffee machine,
we don't have a coffee machine.
if you want to order it, I'll send you my link and I can get a little kickback. Thank you so much.
Yeah, they don't pay us to say that. By
They
the way.
don't. They don't.
So we should talk about I went hunting. last
Tim
week.
went hunting.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania
so much fun.
roots as I'm drinking out of my Sheets cup here. Tell the people about, did you have any luck?
I did. Yeah, I shot a doe. It's about a I don't know how big. They said I'd get about 40 to 50 pounds of meat. I have been hunting before. It's not something I grew up doing, which is very weird because where we grew up in Pennsylvania, I feel like everyone hunted. I didn't grow up hunting, and I think that's partly because I didn't. My dad wasn't really in my life until I was a little older because I was adopted. So I didn't grow up, in my younger years with like a stable father. And I think normally hunting is something fathers take their sons to do.
Yeah.
So and then just by that point, just I don't know, I wasn't interested. I'm sure my dad would have taken me if I'd asked him, but I just wasn't. I had no interest. But I become interested now, and so I've gone before. I went hog hunting before, which you go shoot, wild pigs. This is the first time I went deer hunting. For the record, I did not show up anticipating to shoot a deer at all. I thought we were just going pig hunting. So we get there and they're like, "Do you want to shoot a deer?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah. If I can, absolutely." They're like, "Okay, just you got to get the license or whatever real quick." Yeah, so I did it. It was funny because I brought my my rifle, but they were like, "You're gonna need a bigger like caliber bullet for a deer." So we have one you can borrow, and it's left-handed. So are you fine with that? I'm like, not really. I'm right-handed. I don't want, and I'm very particular about shooting. I'm very particular about the platform. I know my rifle well. I'm comfortable with it. That's really important when you're shooting at all. You need to be comfortable with the weapon, but definitely when you're hunting, when the stakes are, if you miss, that's it. Like you get one shot. So
one opportunity.
They're like, "Here's this rifle. It's left-handed. I had literally never touched this rifle before." So I go out there and I'm like, "Man, I don't feel great about this because like I just don't know this weapon." And this is the Marine in me.
Yeah.
The Marine Corps teaches you,
this is my weapon.
You know your rifle like it is your own hand. I mean, that thing is never further than
Go
an
ahead and
arm's reach
recite
from
it.
you.
I know you remember it.
And it's just so ingrained. Like you better know this weapon. You better know how to take it apart. You know how to clean it. You know everything about it.
You're not gonna say it.
This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine. I actually don't remember the rest.
Okay. You used to.
People don't memorize that as much as you think in the Marine Corps. I think that's more of a Hollywood thing.
Okay.
So I have this rifle and I'm like, God, it's like literally left hand. So I have to like chamber the round with my left hand, which I'm not used to doing. And then the shell ejects on the other side. So it's just weird. So I shot it right-handed, even though it's a left-handed weapon. And so we wait, like 8 deer show up. And I'm like, all right, this is it. This is the time. I'm ready. And the thing about it is you need the deer to be facing broadside, meaning it needs to be standing perpendicular to you.
So you can see the whole side silhouette.
So you can see the whole side because you want to shoot it right under the front shoulder, like where the organs are, for a clean shot. And if you miss or you go outside of the zone, you can ruin the meat if you hit it in the wrong spot. And it won't die right away, which is obviously not what you want. So the stakes are high, right? And I'm like, all right, I'm waiting for one of these deer to come into picture. There's this beautiful buck. I don't know how many points, because I'm not that into the game to know like, oh, it's an 8-point buck. I have no idea, but it was huge. And I was like, can I shoot the buck? And they're like, no, you can't shoot the buck. I was like, all right, I really want to know why I can't shoot the buck, but I can't ask right now because we can't talk. We're whispering. So the deer don't hear us. They're like, you can shoot one of the doe. So I get a doe lined up. I think it was the biggest one out there. Took the shot, hit, almost perfect, not perfect, almost perfect. And yeah, it dropped right away and went down, and we paid our respects. And yeah, they loaded it up, and then the place we were at, they help you process it, which is great because I don't know how to do that. And you need to know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you can ruin the meat at that stage too. So they like helped, dress it and everything. And yeah, so now it's getting processed. I pick it up in 4 to 6 weeks, all the meat. So
Hell
I'm
yeah.
excited for deer meat.
We got to make room in the deep freezer.
We do.
We got a lot of meat in there.
We do. And I've got to figure out how to perfect cooking meat. I've never cooked deer before, so this will be the first time.
Never cooked it. I've had it a bunch.
Yeah.
Just growing up, but I've never been the one cooking it. I was always too young. But
Yeah.
I remember everybody always having venison and obviously deer jerky. All my friends would bring deer jerky to school. I remember when we lived in Huntingdon and there was a activity night, which was like a dance on a Friday night. And it was like, this was the start of like deer season. Once you hit, I think it was like 13 years old, you can go and you can take your test and do your whole thing to get your license. And it was like the talk of the school. Are you going to activity night or are you going to get your deer license? And so many girls were like, I'm not going to activity night. Like so many girls were like, I'm hunting
too.
So many.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because like, yeah, I think it's like a father-son thing traditionally, but like so many girls do it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
many girls like brought jerky to school. I remember like we would go to family's house and we would like, highly illegal, not during deer season, but I would always be the one in the back of the pickup truck as we're driving through a field in pitch black, holding the spotlight. So I'm like this little girl holding this big, heavy spotlight. That's illegal, right? Not deer season, and definitely can't fucking
guys were just
spotlight it
shooting
at
from the
night.
truck.
Oh, hell yeah. My mom in the front in the passenger seat, and then some other accomplices, which I won't name. Whatever. It was fun.
If you're a Pennsylvania game warden listening, just know this
From
podcast is purely for
1990 something.
entertainment purposes. Nothing we say can be taken
And then
literally.
we would shoot the deer and then we would load them up in the back of the truck and we would take them back to the house and hang them upside down in the basement, gut them and do the whole thing.
Yeah. Wow. And you were never grossed out by that?
I think it was just, I was around it.
Yeah, you didn't know any better.
And also like, I wasn't like, I just can't imagine being like, ew, so gross. Like they would have made the fucking, they would have made fun of me. Like everyone, no, it wasn't even that like culture. It was just like,
it was just the
I
life,
would sit at the top of the stairs as they were in the basement gutting it. And my mom and every other adult would say like, okay, this is like a serious sacred thing. So there was this level of like reverence. Yeah. It wasn't like you can't be grossed out right now. This is not what this is about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I even had room to be grossed out.
That's beautiful though.
Yeah.
Because what hunting teaches you is so important is just reverence for like life and specifically meat, which most of us enjoy in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
But we enjoy from such a detached. You just pick it up from the supermarket. You're just the end consumer. You've done no work to get it.
Yeah.
But when you see what goes into it, it just makes you respect it a lot more.
Tastes better.
And it tastes better.
That's a fact.
Because you've put time and effort into it. But yeah, it just makes you totally have a deeper reverence for all of it, for sure. And I've been around it before. In Afghanistan, we would buy animals. And I will say, the guys who grew up deer hunting were just so valuable because they're the only ones who knew how to clean these animals properly. And man, it's such a great life skill, especially to grow up with it.
Yeah.
And you learn that at a young age.
I know. I wouldn't trade it. I wish August gets to have some type of experience like that,
He will.
He definitely will. And I think that there are just things in life that are better when you value and understand them like that. I hate being the end consumer when we get steaks at HEB.
Yeah.
It's a good steak. There's nothing wrong with an HEB steak. But I hate that we're on the fucking end of the chain, dude.
Yeah.
So I've partnered with Texas cattle ranches before. I think like one of my favorite partnerships was we got like half of I say half, I don't know if it was quite half, maybe a quarter. They were dry aged for almost 60 days. they were Texas local. You want to try to get your food as local as possible, right? There's so many health benefits to that. It's insane. But I just think like, oh God, it tastes better. There are
Mm.
some things in life that just taste better.
Yeah.
And it's like when someone else makes you a sandwich instead of you making a sandwich, oof, that's gonna hit, you know? When you
Mm.
get your cow locally, oh, it's gonna hit.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna hit. You know the climate, you know what they're eating. Like you can just pick the different grains. You can pick, what like it's designer cow.
Yeah.
That's
And
what their whole thing was.
it's much more natural. That's naturally,
Yeah.
humans weren't just meant to, I mean, just consume endless amounts of meat not having to exert any effort
It was
or
not even
energy to
meat.
get
I
it.
don't think that we should
Anything. It actually applies to anything.
produce
I don't think humans were meant to consume anything
out
in
of season.
excess. Sure. But my point is in excess without like committing energy to it. If you look at that's anything consumed in excess without you having to spend energy inputting, that's a problem.
Yeah, but it's nice sometimes.
Sure, it's convenient
It's
and it's
gluttony.
nice and it's
But it's nice
that's a
because
lot
like
of the problems with modern day
sure,
diet and everything. It's too
if I'm the
available.
fucking problem, I don't care. I'm problematic if I like to sit up on my rooftop and eat caviar and drink
Hey,
champagne.
I will destroy a
I
large
didn't
pizza
I
on a
didn't
Friday
go
night.
harvest the eggs.
Sure. I'm not saying become a hermit and live off the grid and only eat what you kill. That's not what I'm saying. I enjoy those things too. But I'm just pointing out that it's like it is a problem.
Yeah, but it's not like it's just in my opinion, I'm not going to die on that hill. There are other problems before that in my book. But yeah, like I try to eat seasonally, right? Like every single month and every single quarter, I'm looking at what's seasonal produce. I don't think it's natural for humans to be able to say, well, strawberries are in season right now in Bali, so let's import them and have them flown across the world so that I can have them in my house in Texas. I think that's luxury and that's nice.
Yeah.
But we do that. Everybody does that when you go buy stuff at the grocery store versus the farmer's market.
Right. And it is more convenient, no doubt about it.
Sure.
So there's trade-offs.
And like, yeah, it's not a hill that I want to die on. I agree with everything that you're saying, but I'm just saying like, if I have a hankering for something, I'm going to go get it.
Yeah.
Cuz I'm a creature of convenience. Like if there's one thing about me, I get my groceries delivered.
Everyone loves a little convenience.
You got to have it.
You got to have some convenience in your life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do anything. You would spend all your time
sourcing.
Yeah, it's basically impossible to live like that now because if you think about the modern economy is so decentralized and there's so many inputs to it. Like, there's this famous thing, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like no one knows how to make a pencil. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
So the point is like if your goal was to like make a pencil from scratch, like a functioning pencil with wood, lead, or whatever the hell's in a pencil with an eraser, could you do it?
No.
And like if you go through and you Google this thing, it unpacks like all the source materials you would need. You'd have to go get them. Like it's basically impossible. Like no one can do it.
How do you source the? You
have
gotta
no
like
idea.
melt the lead down or something.
I have
to
no
like
idea.
mold it.
I have no idea.
Do I sound really dumb right now because
I have no idea how a pencil is made. But the point is just that you can't do it. You need all of these different people building certain parts of it or processing the elements in a certain way that you can then take. So
that'd
to
be dope.
purely build one from scratch is, I don't think it's possible.
It'd be sick. Just be like, bro, I made my own pencil. What do you mean?
Think about how much work you'd have to do for such a small payout.
Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, I spent 1 year. This would be a cool, if anyone wants a life project, challenge this and spend an entire year or whatever it takes and document the whole thing on TikTok or Instagram.
Oh, you'd blow up.
That'd be cool. I'd watch that.
Some woodworking guy probably out there has already done it. Some like Ron, he's just sitting there being like, I made a pencil today.
I would follow that person because I'm just like, if you start on January 1 and you're like, I'm going to figure out this year and you're going to I'm going to follow me on this journey. I'd be like, I'm in. I want to see this. I want to see you defy this.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Somebody should capitalize on that and then give us a little equity.
Yeah.
They would blow up for sure.
Free idea. Just take it.
There are a lot of communities though that are starting to like go back to that though. Like there are a lot of like communities that are like we're centraling around we're building houses on the perimeter and then the interior is all like a regenerative garden and it's all organic and we want to like also know what your strengths are and like, are you good at woodworking? Are you good at, this and this and this? And then we want to come together. People are building these communities around the country. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
So, I mean, I think to an extent, there's a lot of people that want to get back to that simplification of not being the end consumer at the grocery store. But you have to band together. I don't think it's a solo quest.
Yes. Because
Because
it's
it's a
too hard
solo
to do on
quest.
your own. Yeah.
Yeah, but like also like loneliness is a huge epidemic, and you
Mhm.
want people around you that share the same values as you do in a community.
Yes. I think that trend will continue, and I think the one of the key drivers of it will actually be AI. I think that will mean that more and more people start doing this because with AI, like you have infinite knowledge at your fingertips now, so that's not the hurdle anymore. It used to be like, well, I don't even know how to do this, so I got to find someone,
Yeah,
right? If you wanted in the 1950s,
interesting.
if you wanted to figure out how to start a fully what's it called when the garden is like um
Organic,
yes,
regenerative.
regenerative, like if you wanted to do that you'd have to literally go find books or
Yeah,
people, and good luck.
library.
Yeah, like you'd have to source it from. Now it's like literally you could probably get started with like a prompt on your favorite AI product, and it can get you started. Like, are you gonna be an expert right away? Of course not, but I just think that will
Yeah.
drive a lot more of this because now it's not about knowledge, it's about agency. And I think the winners in the future are the people who are not focused on just the endless um, accumulation of knowledge, but people who are willing to take action
Mm-hmm.
on it, because knowledge is now essentially infinite. So now it's the difference is who's willing to take the action
Mm-hmm.
to do it.
Yeah, that's a dream.
Yeah, that's actually when I was hunting. I got that. So after the deer, we ate. We went back out for pigs at night. They had like night vision. So I'm sitting there in this blind for like 2 hours in total silence. Are we good over there? I'm sitting in this blind for like 2 hours and it's dark out. So I just had a lot of time to think in silence, which, by the way, is one of the best parts about hunting. Even if you don't get anything, just being out in nature and being able to um, sit with your own thoughts and not have distractions is really great. So I was just thinking, I was like, this is like what I want in the sense of like more of this,
Mm-hmm.
more of man, I don't even know where to start, but we were talking about this, you know, for the last couple weeks, like what we want for our lives and our family. And I don't know exactly what that looks like, but like more of, or I should put it this way, less dependencies
Yeah.
on everyone else, more sovereignty, more autonomy over our family and our family's well-being. And so this we were talking about is like our multi-decade project. How do we build a family that is sovereign, autonomous, has agency, can take care of itself? That I think is becoming. That's just I don't know why I had that thought, because I think it's because I was just around. I was on this huge ranch where like you know clearly they had thought that way, and they were like, how do we build our own little empire, if you will? And I'm just really intrigued by it and really interested in it.
Mm-hmm. Like we get to do that. What the hell? Did you
Yeah.
hear that?
Yeah.
Well, hang on a second.
Pause for commercial break.
Sorry, our nanny texted and I had to respond to her. Yeah, I think, one thing about me is I love eating like a steak over an open flame. And when you sent me the picture of like after you shot your deer, you guys were having steaks over a fire outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's my fucking dream. Is it
Mm-hmm.
not? Have you ever seen me in a bad mood sitting around a fire with a steak on it? Some of my happiest moments in life.
Yeah.
It's primal shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, take me there.
Yeah.
So we did have a conversation about I would say not even multi-decade. I would say just generational. Like long-term vision and long-term goals and shit that's going to outlive us, and things that we can do in terms of a family business that will set up future generations and not just be for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And to build that takes a lot of thought, and it takes a lot of intentionality, and it takes a lot of planning.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that, before we get into like the things that we talked about and discussed, is the life of being in a city. I don't think that that's where we see each other, and it's going to be a hell of a lot harder to get to our goals if we're in the city. And I say that because the city lifestyle creep is fucking insane, and it'll get you. It'll get your elite ass taste buds too. Don't think you're not exempt, Nelson. It'll get your ass. And last week, I had in my cart, at one given moment in time, I had like 4 different fucking designer things. Okay. Like, I was looking at all the bags. I want I was looking at like a vintage, like, Ralph Lauren coat, and like things that I'm just like, that's nice. Bags. And I'm not a designer bag girly, but I was like, somehow I convinced myself that I needed them. Okay. And that's fine if you're into designer. I'm into designer too. I'm not knocking it. I'm just, stick with me here. And I am going to a vintage market this weekend in Austin because I have VIP tickets. So I get early access, and I am going to probably spend a lot of money on vintage designer pieces. But that's besides the point. My point is, I had all these fucking expensive ass $1,000 bags sitting in my cart, and I'm trying to decide which one I want, right? I'm going to send it to you for a Christmas idea. I'm going to just get it for myself, whatever. And then I get on TikTok, or I get on Instagram, and I'm going through my Reels, like, explore page or whatever the fuck it's called. And this is the first video that comes across my timeline, is this video of like Wyoming, dude. And it's like, I don't know, this girl, she's like a little girl, and she's riding on a horse. It's a pony, 'cause she's little. And she is holding an American flag, and there's music in the background, and somebody in a truck is like just filming alongside as the horse, and the girl's hair's blowing in the wind, and she's like so happy and smiling, and she's like, am I doing it right? And I'm crying. Okay, imagine opening your app and the first thing you see, and you're just like, oh, okay, I didn't expect to fucking cry, but it was such a beautiful thing. And I literally texted you. Do you remember? I texted you. I said, I don't want any of this, actually, because I had sent you like some ideas or something for Christmas. I said, scratch that. I don't want any of this. I want this. And I sent you the video. And it reminded me of like what I actually fucking want in life. I had to be brought to tears to realize it, because it's not designer bags that may or may not age well. It's not impressing random strangers on the internet with how much money I have, because we make really good money. Okay. But I think we do a really good job of living like well within or below our means in a lot of different aspects. And sometimes, if I'm being honest with myself, I'm like, no, I kind of want to like show it off, you know? Like, we work hard. Here's all the nice things that like we could. And then I'm like, I don't fucking want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. And I had to be moved to tears because I need that reminder. That lifestyle creep of living in the city will fucking just get it twisted for me. So I think back to the long-term legacy conversation, because this ties in. If there are people living in a city that want the same thing, and they don't have access to land, and they don't have access to animals, and they want to be able to like live this lifestyle, you know, later down the road, how are they able, how, I guess, like, what ways are they able to access those little things where they live, if they live in a high rise, or prepare themselves to get there one day? And I think that's an interesting thing that we could touch on, because I have some things and I know you have some things, but like, where would you say to somebody to start if you wanted to go first?
Follow us, because I think we
Follow us.
we want to take you on that journey as we try to do it. I mean, we don't really know what we're doing here. We're figuring it out as we go. I don't even know where to start.
I think let me start then, because I have a couple things that are not like tangible things. It's just you got to make sure that number one, you're with the right fucking partner and you're not with somebody who is not willing to think long term. You need somebody that is going to be like, yes, I'm fully bought in. And this is a long term, we're thinking legacy, we're thinking long term. We're not thinking about, just don't like be with a fuck boy that's like, what do you want to do next weekend? You need somebody that thinks like, what do you want to do next decade? And like, let's help prepare for that now. And so a lot of that is going to look like probably what a lot of our early relationship looked like, in saying no to a lot of the like brunches and like expensive, frivolous, fleeting things, and say like, if we saved $50 this month and instead of spending it on this, we put it in this bucket, right? And have different buckets. Have like a long-term legacy bucket, have like a house bucket if you don't have a house, have like, whatever. And you and your partner need to be on the same page, and you can discuss what that looks like. But I think that that's like a non-tangible piece, is you got to be 100% bought in to saying like, this is how I want our life to look. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I want to be so self-sufficient that I don't depend on anybody, because again, I'm a creature of convenience. I'm going to get my groceries delivered, but maybe that looks like I'm going to have a house with chickens next and I'll get my own eggs, right? This doesn't need to be fucking 100% 0 to 100 trad wife where I'm just like living on the land and need no one. No, that's not what I'm fucking saying here. Though I want to make that very clear, because also that's not what I want. I don't 100% want that. So finding a partner that's like, okay, are we comfortable with the breakdown here? Like, are you comfortable if your life were to look like that? Like, that was part of our conversation. Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, let me just tell you what I'm okay with and what I'm not okay with. And then we talked it out and you were like, great, I'm on board. Mm-hmm. I think that's really invaluable.
Yeah. I mean, finding your partner is the most important decision of everything. If you don't have that, it's very hard to do on your own.
Yeah.
You got to have a partner who is in it for the long run. That's like the most fundamental thing.
Totally.
And I think you need to find alignment on core principles. You don't need to be the same person. We're not the same person, and we're different in many, many ways.
Thank God.
That's actually an asset, by the way. Mm-hmm. But you can't be non-aligned on the fundamentals. So what are the fundamentals? I mean, like you just talked about finance. I think that's very fundamental.
Yeah. What would you say to somebody like if they were like, I don't know where to start? What advice can you get me? Like, what do I need to look into some funds, or like, how do I?
So financial, you're talking about financial specifically.
Correct. I mean, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think, oh gosh, it's so hard to give general advice. Everybody's in such a different phase. Like, I think if you're, okay, how about this? I'll just talk about my journey. And if you're listening, take parts of it and whatever's relevant to you. I think that's probably the best way to do this. I went through a phase so I've always been for context, I've always been the financial person in the relationship. I do all the finances, investments. It's because I like to do it. You don't love to do that stuff, so it's just a natural thing that's kind of gone to me. And I went through this phase in 2020, where I was like obsessed with the financial independence, retire early movement, the FIRE movement, which you may have heard of, which is basically the philosophy is like earn as much as you can, spend as little as you can, and live as like low quality of life as possible.
Which thrilled me. I was thrilled.
So you can become, this probably, by the way, is part of the Maxwell House thing I was talking about. Basically minimize your expenses to the absolute minimum, and then just like save aggressively. And in 10 years or whatever, you can just retire and go live. I have learned that I think there's merits to what that movement teaches. Don't get me wrong, but for me, it took me living through it and learning that like you can only minimize your expenses so much, because at a certain point, there's two problems with that. One is like we might die tomorrow, so like you can't be so frugal and frivolous that like you forget to live your life. Okay, so that's one piece that I had a problem with. And on the other hand, mathematically, you literally can't. There's a limit to how much you can minimize. You need certain things to live, right? But there's no limit to how much you can earn. And so the big unlock for me was, okay, well, actually focusing on earning more is going to do more for me than trying to cut an additional $10,000 off our annual expenses. What if I just found a way to make $10,000 more or make $20,000 more? And I would encourage everyone to focus on that primarily. Obviously, don't live beyond your means. You need to have some discipline on the expense side. Start there, but try to earn more money. And then with what you earn, you've got to figure out how to invest that smartly. So many different ways you can do it. There's a great book that I'd recommend called The Simple Path to Wealth. It's fantastic for the vast majority of people. If you don't want to spend time figuring out investments, you're not into that stuff, just get an AI summary of that book. It'll tell you the simplest way to do it and follow that. I think that's basically not financial advice from me, but someone else who I think has covered this topic in a really simple way for most people to consume.
So you're saying you don't even necessarily need to spend money on this book. You can just go ahead and get an AI
I'm pretty
summary.
sure, like basically
Free advice,
the
guys.
book is going to say like buy index funds. It's just the easiest kind of thing. You don't want to think about it. You don't need to invest time, and there's no like management overhead where you've got to like if you invest in a small business, like if you're like your friend wants to do a startup and you invest in them, like that's going to take some work from you because the expectation when you invest is you providing something, right? Usually it's not just silent money. So there's work involved. So if you don't want to do all that, if you don't want to be a landlord, real estate, just go read that book. I think it's great for the vast majority of people. If you are more sophisticated or you wish to become more sophisticated, then I think you got to be willing to do the work. And for that small percentage of people who do want to do that, I think I would say you've got to find something that you know a lot about. Like, what can you invest in where you have an edge on information because you're an expert or you know a lot about that field? So, we've had friends or connections come to us and offer us to invest in things, and that's great. I appreciate that. But like a lot of those businesses, I won't invest in because I'm like, I don't know anything about restaurants. So how can I tell if this is going to be sick? I don't know enough about that business. So I think investing in what you know is very important if you wish to be on the more sophisticated side of investing. You don't want the simple way. I think that's going to require more work. And the more work is doing all the due diligence to figure out, is this a good investment? How do I know it's a good investment? Have I been in that field? Do I work in that field? Have I spent years and thousands of hours studying and figuring that out? So I think if that's you, like, go find what it is that you know something about and invest in that. Sure.
Now, I want you to give somebody a more tangible example. So, if somebody knows a lot about coffee, they're not just going to go up and invest in Starbucks. I want you to say, like, where do you go? What do you look for? What do you do? Just go on all of the companies to ever go public and then just pick one. Like, you got to be more specific here.
I would say if you're like if you're an expert in coffee, again, not financial advice, and I'm not an expert in coffee, so I don't really know, but I think you'd have to find like if you're an expert in coffee, I assume that means you work and you do something work related. Like you have your own coffee company or you like I think if you have that, then you naturally have a network of people that you've met, probably like a community, right? Of people who are also interested in that or
What if
deeply.
this person is just a barista and they're just interested? Like, where do they start? And they're so passionate and they want to do this for the rest of their life. They want to open a coffee store one day or something. It doesn't have to be the coffee example. I'm just saying you need to be more specific with like people
Then
don't know where to start.
yeah, then
How do I find these
some
companies?
well maybe the answer is invest in yourself then. Like maybe that's the answer. If you're the expert and you have insight into something that you feel like most of the world does not have, maybe the idea is to
They don't
invest in
have the
yourself.
funds for that yet. They
You
want
don't
to
have to
put their money
invest
in the stock
capital. You don't
market.
have to invest money. Well, then I already gave them the answer, which is I think the best answer, which is go read that book, which is the simplest way. But I think
How do
if
you
you
know
don't,
what company to pick? There's a lot of companies out there in that specific industry.
I don't know the answer to that. I think because I don't know enough about coffee, but I think again it goes down to like you have to know it so well that you understand like deep on a very deep level what that company has as an edge.
And if they don't know it very well,
Then
then
don't
tell them
take the
about funds.
sophisticated.
Tell them about funds.
Yeah, then I think you should read the book, and you should buy. And like, I think then for most people, buying index funds, which is a diversified bunch of different companies, that's the easiest way. And there's so many reputable companies that offer these types of products. It's I think I would go that route.
Okay.
But I think it's also important, like, if you don't have capital to invest, that's not the only asset you have. Um, if you were to ask like, I don't know, let's take Warren Buffett. He's like, how old now? 86 or something. He's a billionaire. And I think he said this before. If you offered to trade him for all the money he has, if he could be 25 again, he would take that every time. And the insight here is, you may not have money yet, but you have time. And for everyone who has money that does not have time, they'll trade that in an instant.
And you have good knees. Think about all the things that you have.
You have good knees. You have time, and that time is an asset. And my point is, sometimes the answer is not to invest capital, because sometimes you don't have it. So sometimes you need to use your other asset, which is time, and invest that wisely. Learn, and take action, and invest in yourself. Like, that is the answer for a lot of people. You're gonna have to work hard. There's no way around it. It's a lot of hard work, but I think that's a practical tip I would give people.
I like that. That's
start
my
your
favorite.
own start your own business. Start small. You don't need a huge amount of capital. Like, you can bootstrap it. Just start where you can. Like, it's like, you don't need to make $1 million year one. I think the most important thing I could say is just take action.
And you probably shouldn't, to be very frank, because you talk to a lot of these really successful founders and a lot of our friends, and they say the same thing: is we blew up too quick, too fast, and now we got to take a step back.
Yeah.
And now we got to downsize, and now we got to XYZ. Do it all yourself, bootstrap it, delegate to as little people as possible. Don't hire out. Like, just do it, learn the whole business, and bet on yourself.
Which, again,
I think that's the best.
AI makes this more possible than ever, because you literally, in your pocket, you have an accountant, you have a lawyer, you have all of this information available at your fingertips. Like, you can do more of this than ever. You just have to be willing to do the work.
You got to do the work, but you have to be willing to take the step and have enough courage to put yourself out there and be rejected and denied, and have enough wherewithal to be able to come back and say, well, I'm still going to bet on myself, because the bottom line is, no one's going to fucking come and save you.
Right.
No one. And if you're like, okay, I'm getting older, or maybe you're like, okay, I'm in my 30s, I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s. Like, is it too late for me? The answer is no. If you think that you have a good idea, it's going to die with you if you don't fucking do it. And or somebody else is going to do it, and you're going to be pissed.
Yeah.
And maybe the person that actually does end up doing it is not as talented as you, but at least they had the, courage and the balls to go out and do it, while you're just sitting on your couch dreaming about it. You're just sitting there being like, I wonder if.
Yeah.
Well, somebody out there is less talented than you, making more money than you, making millions of dollars, and they just decided that they were going to do it because they wanted to bet on themselves.
Yeah. And
don't get me started.
You would know more about this probably than I do, because you've started a lot of different businesses, right? I mean, you
and I think the biggest thing is that I just didn't care if I failed.
Yeah.
Fell or failed.
You have to be willing to be. What I saw this tweet. It was so funny. It was like, if you're not willing to be cringe, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make it. Basically, was the point.
You got to climb cringe mountain.
Yeah, you kind of have to. Well, you're much better at that than I am.
Especially on social media.
Much better.
Especially on social media.
Yeah, that I've always admired that about you.
Thank you.
You just have this like
I'm stubborn too, so like
crazy level of courage, and you just don't care. And I'm just like, man, that's admirable. And you naturally have a lot of agency. You are not afraid to just like go for it for yourself, and that's a huge asset, especially today. And I think if you don't know where to start, there's a saying I love, which is action creates information. And that, I think, is so valuable, because oftentimes you're stuck looking for the answer, and it's knowledge. If I just knew this thing or this person. And actually, if you flip that and you invert it and just say, I'm just going to go do it. Once you do it, you send a ripple out in the universe. The universe gives you feedback. And that feedback is information. And you can use that and learn quickly. So I think not getting stuck on the idea is not worth anything. Everybody has a million ideas, including me. A bunch of ideas I've never acted on. They're not worth anything. It's actually your willingness to do something about it and have the courage to fail that matters more, and that will give you feedback. You can then use that feedback, quickly incorporate it, change, pivot, and just keep that cycle going.
Get off your fucking ass. So today I shot my shot. Oh my god. What? Okay, I put myself out there because I film a lot. Wait, are we wrapped up on the legacy? We should come back to
I think
this.
we're going to talk about this a lot more. If people,
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what we want to spend more time talking about. And we're going to be doing this journey anyway, so it's like organic to our life.
Exactly. So like our goal is to like be more self-sufficient, not 100%, but like we want a big fucking compound one day, and we want like a big ranch and land, and like if my mom wants to come live on it, like she can. Like we're going to have room, we're going to have all these things and a big family business, and it's going to be great. But that's not the next step for us. The next step for us realistically is to just get out of the city and move into a bigger house with some acreage and start there.
Yeah.
So like you guys are just joining in, welcome, because this is the start of it, and we're starting legacy building now.
Yes.
Okay, to my point, what the hell was I talking about? Oh, okay. I do a lot of like car rants in my car, and I do a lot of motivational speaking and just ranting in the car. And the whole like where this even came from, okay? Like why do you film in your car? Was when I was really, really big on TikTok in like 2020, you were working from home because of the fucking pandemic. And
Yeah.
so you would be on meetings in the office in our old house, and you'd be like, Amanda, when you get on live, when you're yelling at your phone, right? Because that was my style, right? You guys, like I would take my phone, I'd be like, hey guys, so today we're gonna talk about, and then I would just go.
It's very loud.
Sorry.
Just now. Yeah.
Well, that was the style. And so I'd be like, have you ever thought about, and just like the loud fucking hooks, bro. We were hooking people back in 2020, and you'd be like, Amanda, I'm on a fucking meeting. Like, you gotta shut up, figure something out. So I went in the car and I recorded all of my videos in the car, right? And it was cool because nobody was doing it. And also we had a Tesla in 2020. Nobody had a Tesla in 2020. And so people would see these videos and they'd be like, oh my God, like that's a cool car. And they'd be like, oh wait, you're actually fucking spitting fire right now. So then I like got a lot of followers. Anyway, I still do that from time to time. Now I don't have an empty house. I have somebody that pretty much occupies it all the time. And I don't want my nanny upstairs with Augie to hear me just being like, whatever on my car rant bullshit. So I go into the car and I rant in the car because it's confined and I can say whatever the fuck I want, right? And so I've been doing that lately, and well, I've been doing it for the past like year. And we have my car is the Genesis GV70 electric model. I love it so much. And I'm like, listen, dream brand to work with. So fucking aligned. I'm in there. I'm literally giving them free promo because people are in my DMs. What car do you have? What car do you have? I love your seats. Show me the car. Like, so on Threads today, they posted, I don't have my phone on me, but they posted like, don't be afraid to like let it all out in your car or something like that. And I commented and I said, don't be afraid to, I don't know. I pretty much just like said, I actually do in my car, in my Genesis, and would love to work with you guys. Like, whatever. It was clever in whatever the way that they had said it. I had rephrased it. I'm like, actually do, and we should work together. So it's like, am I going to lose anything? No. I have literally nothing to lose. And some people could argue and say, like, well, you could lose your, humility, or you could be embarrassed. I don't give a fuck. That's the thing about like having agency over your life, is you have to be able to drop that like, oh, how are people going to look at me? Because guess what? If they come back and say like, actually, we do want to work with you, and then they reach out to my manager and I get like an insane deal, who's going to be laughing all the way to the bank?
Yeah.
Me.
Come on, Genesis.
Come on, Jenny.
Pay up.
Her name is Jenny Light because my grandma used to drink Jenny Light.
That's what you named your car? I didn't know that. Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Jenny Light. Anyway.
First time I'm hearing it.
Well, so you got to shoot your shot, bitch. Well, you got to get up and take action and make it happen, and it's going to suck, but I think oftentimes when you're going through like a tough season, or you're going through this growth, it sucks so bad right before something good is about to happen. I think that's what a lot of people need to keep in mind is you're just trudging. When is
Yeah.
this going to happen for me? When is this going to, and then it's just, you hit your lowest right before the highest.
Hmm.
Always happens like that. It's like always in the least expected way. Like all the opportunities I've ever had in my life have never been planned. Let's just say that. So you never know. You got to put yourself out there.
Can I just add? Do we have time? Can I?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to add something for the folks who maybe are not entrepreneurs, because I am not an entrepreneur and I do not have my own business. I am employed. And I want to cover for those people too, because the answer is not you have to start your own business. And you can do very well working for a company, and there's pros and cons with that, with anything. The one thing I want to offer to people is realizing and understanding and thinking of yourself as a business. So in a sense, if you're working for a company, you are the business and you're selling your time to a company and they're getting something in return. You're getting something in return. And for me, that was a really powerful way to frame like, oh, wait, I am my own business, and businesses have a brand, they have a style, they have a product that they offer or a service, they have a customer group that they target, right? And they have all these other things. And I think that's a powerful thing, because the answer is not for everyone to be an entrepreneur. It's perfectly fine to work for a company, and there's a lot of benefits. And I think thinking of your own self as a business, that in that sense, I think is empowering. It can help you, at least it helped me, sort of think about this more than just, okay, this is my employer, I'm an employee. It's more like, this is who I'm selling my time to, right? And I think I think that's just I just want to make sure everyone's not taking away like, oh, I bet I have to go be an entrepreneur, because there's other ways to be successful. There's, and got to find what works best for you. And some people do very, very well in companies over long periods of time.
Oh yeah.
So
get that golden parachute retirement. Ooh, you good.
And you can learn a lot of skills, right? A lot of really great skills.
I think that's it's important,
especially if you're young. Like
that you said that too.
Yeah, like getting in a company and working for a good company, good managers, getting a network. If you don't know where else to start, like that's also a good place to start for a lot of people.
And when you view yourself as a business, like you were just saying, that helps you make a more aligned decision. If you are going to be working here for the next, 5 days a week, set like the whole thing, right? Not even for the rest of your life, because people just don't do that anymore. You can, but people really don't.
Yeah.
Then you got to say like, is this aligned? Does this make sense? I mean, am I even on brand? Or is this really just out of left field and I'm just doing it for a paycheck? Because then you might just not be like happy long term, and you got to think about that as well.
Yeah. And the unlock for me was thinking of myself as a brand, that the best businesses, they are very clear about who they are. Like they have a brand and they have a target audience. And, it took me many, many years of struggling through this and thinking like, oh, I have to fit in. I have to be exactly like everyone else. But it took me a long time to realize, actually, you've got to have the courage to be different and, to some sense, who you are. I'm not going to use the term be your authentic self, because we can talk about that another day. I'm not going to go that far, but I will say you've got to be willing to be like for someone or something that's different, and that's okay. And that's very valuable in a company. That's literally, by the way, what diversity means. Like if you can't be yourself, then there's no point in diversity, if everyone's trying to act the same way and be the same way.
Right.
So like you got to be willing to show up and just be like, I'm really good at this. I'm not really good at this. This is what I like to do. Is not what I like to do. Obviously, this is a job. I'm going to have to do things I don't like to do. Okay. So it's not like I only get to work on things I want to work on, but like be clear about that, and that's fine. And then you do the things you don't want to do and you deal with it. But then over time, people start to say, oh, that person's really good at this. Right. And so when I have this thing, they're going to be the person who works on it.
Yep.
That's literally your brand now. And that's how you can get over time. Again, this takes time. But
or you can still, you could still build your network working in corporation, because I know a lot of people who work corporate jobs and they have things that they have, through socialization shared with their coworkers. And then it's like, oh, well, now I know that you do that on the side. Now I'm going to call you and you could come over and do your little cheese board thing. And now that little cheese board thing is a whole business that they got to quit their corporate job because their little cheese board thing actually wasn't so little and it was a huge thing. So like share your whatever you said other than authentic self. Share those things that make you different, because it's not just about like where you are in that moment, because that could be setting you up for future
Yeah.
as well if you network yourself properly. And if you are your own business, you got to network the hell out of it,
Hmm.
no matter what you do.
Yeah. You have to develop skills that are in demand, just like any other business.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no demand for the skill, then it's going to be hard, right? But if
Gonna be
you
tough.
build the skills and knowledge and the discipline to be good at something, and that thing is in demand, yeah, then you are yourself are a business.
Okay, I think we got to wrap it up.
All right.
Anything else you want to say?
Nope,
You want a
that's it.
Marlboro Red?
No, no, thank you.
You want a Zin?